Welcome to VCT Masters Toronto Playoffs, where the best 8 teams in the world are competing for a fraction of the money they could be making as a streamer. Our first match is G2 versus PRX, and G2's jerseys are white. While G2 may not fear PRX, they do fear stains. We open pistol with G2 walking into A for free because all of PRX are peacefully protesting Trent's mid-take. On the first buy, Forsaken tries to throw away his life in the first 10 seconds, but accidentally gets 2 in the process. Only Jason can make these plays. Not to be outdone, Valen runs it down, catching PRX so off guard they start treating heaven like a dance floor. After this, Valen personally requested Riot double the Stinger's ammo and cut its price in half, you know, to balance it. At this point, Forsaken starts looking like prime Stewie 2K, pushing every smoke in his field of view. 7 rounds in, GENG is yet to get a kill, but that doesn't stop him from trying. A+ for participation. In a desperate plea, we see Valen try to get a little bit of plant money, but quickly gets stopped by the entire APAC armed military. Next round, Patman finds himself between a bullet and a target and somehow walks away unscathed. Only the replay system can tell me how he only gets hit once here. But Jagamo is not having it, and this 3K from him makes something pump fake his desk. With plays like this, G2 go up into the half 7-5. G2 win the next pistol, letting Valen farm ecos. At this point, I've seen him use the Stinger more than Sage players put mommy in their name. On round 16, Batman finds himself in a 1v3 and plays Trent so bad he needs 9 months of therapy after. G2 are so boomed by this that Jog starts thinking he's playing a B-Hop map, and Leaf starts hunting assists instead of kills. The mistakes pile up and eventually PRX close out map 1. Finally, in map 2, we get the Jog Neon. And he's dead. But G2 pull off their signature round 2 force and Jonah P farms a couple ecos. By round 6, we're finally blessed with some Forsaken shenanigans. Next round, we see something push Jonah P off a flash, but bro must have thought this was the wind. Please, turn around. That doesn't stop Jog from dropping a clean 4-piece to secure G2 their 4th. If there's 2 things that go hand in hand, it's Forsaken and dry pushing smokes. How is bro getting 2 and getting out here? Absolutely criminal. Valen's not gonna let him be the only Omen making plays though. He picks up a 4K after PRX takes turns peeking him from the same angle. Bruh, you are not that guy. Stop peeking him. The half ends at an even 6-6. On round 15, we see Jog go from jump scaring something to running it deeper than the Mariana Trench. Jog, you cannot survive the pressure down there. Just the next round, we see a Prowler malfunction leading to Leaf locking down the B site. It's like the Prowler saw Leaf in the corner and refused to rat on his boy. Didn't know the Prowler was chill like that. We see something so close to getting his hit of dopamine, but Trent bails Bang out with Saul Goodman levels of protection. Alex, of course, is not happy. But even with something finessing the hell out of Jonah P, Valen keeps his team in the game with a huge 4K and a 1v1 clutch. This guy is truly the fragging IGL. Regardless of the hero plays and what might be considered an upset for non-PRX believers, they take the match. The next match is XLG versus Sentinels. On pistol, we see Zekin in a 2v1 where he introduces XLG to the fountain of youth he's been drinking from. But the Zekin plays don't stop there. On the buy, he brings 4 bodies to the taxidermist so he can immortalize this moment. By round 5, this is Zekin's world and XLG are just living in it. He takes half a fight with Midi, walks away, and there's nothing Midi can do about it. At this point, XLG call a timeout just to discuss ways to counter Zekin, but it does not work. Zekin is still farming like he's trying to 100% Stardew Valley. Finally, on round 7, with 10 seconds left, Rarga gives Usain Bolt a run for his money because he does not want that smoke. Zekin, so filled with serotonin from his performance, tries to run it down into 4 XLG players while the rest of his team is stunned. And just for a second, I thought it might work. But Bang isn't letting them take his boy for free, dropping 4 quick ones in retaliation. Still, XLG start to wake up with Raga clapping right back. Off the back of Raga's plays, Coconut catches a sick timing off Zekin here and rats so hard I thought he was raising mutant turtles for a second. Coconut closes out the half with a slick 1v2, but XLG are still down 4-8. On the next pistol, Rarga finds himself in a 1v3 and clutches up by giving Bang a little kiss on the lips. Apparently, that inflicted Bang with the charm condition because despite the entire XLG team being blind, he refuses to hurt them. Luckily, Kaplan is there to shield Qbert from this tragedy, and of course, Zelsus has to plug the Sen bundle before the game ends. Fast forward to round 19, and Zekin shows XLG the buff you get from having both your parents at the event, giving Sentinels map 1. We start map 2 with Zelsis throwing down a glue trap that stops XLG in their tracks. It was so good he dropped the send bundle to the enemy team expecting them to advertise it. But that lets Coconut pick up a nice little 3k to secure the pistol round. On the first buy, instead of using the $2,900 gun he just bought, Happyway gets caught watching the security cameras at his local Walmart. Fast forward to round 8 and XLG shoot the sheriff and not the deputy, stealing away a light buy round. Then we see Rarga going for an entry with no support. XLG are so confused by Vice's wall, Coconut starts trying to jump over it just to get the trade. Then, Zekin gives us a perfect demo of why Project A was pitched as a tactical shooter designed around precise gunplay, giving Sentinels a 7-5 lead going into the half. After losing the pistol, XLG sit in this Astralis Awe setup, and Sentinels just walk into C for free. On round 16, Zelsis is all alone on B, and Rarga runs at him like a World War Z zombie. You cannot escape, Rarga will find you. In the same round, Bang finds himself in a clutch situation after getting 2, but he is not shaken. In fact, this guy is so still he had people throwing money in his hat because he looked like a human statue street performer. Coming into match point, Sentinels are on a save, but the only thing that needs saving is XLG, leading Sentinels to close out the series 2-0, knocking XLG down to the lower bracket. Our next match is RRQ versus Wolves. We start map 1 and Pistol kicks off with Lysor getting clapped instantly, but he still stands up like an NPC because he did not get the memo. In the bonus, YU grabs a 4-piece, not only catching Cushy jiggling like a cup of jello, but also saves his boy Spring from getting catfished by Jemkin. On round 6, we see Lysor showcase an ult so mid, the only explanation is that it was a misclick. Just after, RRQ give BB a 1v3 like they thought it was his birthday and forgot to get him a present. But wait, you thought Lysor was done whiffing ults? Oh, you could not be more incorrect. Still, despite Lysor's struggles, Wolves go up into the half 8-4. Wolves pick up the pistol, and on the bonus, Chusey walks into the RRQ meet and greet hoping to get his jersey signed. That flash, gonna need some work. On round 18, Cushy picks up 3, and Manier, not wanting to steal his 4th, yeets himself at YU like a human flashbang. After, we see YU try to save Juicy, but do not let that guy become a lifeguard. If you are drowning, he will pull out a pair of binoculars to watch in 4K. But it doesn't stop there with YU. Man had a buffet of frags in front of him and still managed to go home hungry. The next round, Xpharaoh sets up for the prime Cypher diff, and no, he fumbles it and gets Cypher diffed himself. It's cooked. Wolves take map 1. Map 2 starts with Manier showing why he was brought in to replace GENG that one time. On the bonus, BB goes looking for Xpharaoh, but this guy just got done with a 15-hour spy pubbing sesh in TF2. And now he's becoming a problem taking mid-pick after mid-pick. With the meta becoming teleport into the enemy spawn and pray, Crazy Guy has 3 different players looking behind them like they're checking for a Bracken and Lethal Company. On round 9, YU uses Thrash on a retake, but Cushy just watched Tremors and knows exactly what to do. Jemkin gets 4 here, and looks like he's on for the ace, but Xpharaoh sees the final kill and says no, this is our ace, brother. At the last round of the half, Crazy Guy lives up to his name and goes in for this teleport. Bro is crazy thinking this will work. The half ends with RRQ up 8-4. Springing out of the half, Wolves pick up the pistol and Spring is him dropping 3 to secure Wolves the bonus. This has Crazy Guy walking through a main like he's Walter White wandering the supermarket naked. And BB just might be becoming one of my favorite players. Cushy looks like he might pull out this 1v2, but BB shows him just the tip like he's turtle heading in the boys' locker room. Wolves' momentum just looks unstoppable, and with Juicy picking up consistent 3Ks round after round, they knock RRQ down to the lower bracket. Coming up next is GENG versus Fnatic. Fnatic is EMEA's last hope heading in, but Texture does not care, opening with a clean 3K. This is Crashy's hiding in the corner, but brother, your shoulder is sticking out like an American amongst Europeans. On the first buy, we see Texture bait Karen for this kill, and it looks like he's going to push CT, but Foxy knows how to discipline his duelist. On round 7, what starts as good spacing for a trade is quickly exposed faster than a Minecraft YouTuber's DMs. Next round, Boaster pulls out the classic IGL op, and even with all these targets to choose from, he still manages to miss. But this game is quickly turning into a banger, with Crashies and Texture going blow for blow. And just when it looks like Kayak will pull out a 1v2, Texture eats him up like some dino nuggies. Mr. 4K has entered the chat. Next round, Kayak puts a down payment on Grass because he is owning this angle, leading to an 8-4 half for Fnatic. GENG start off the second pistol by sending the whole squad at Boaster. Bro walked into the entire team like he just walked into his own aiming intervention. We then see him in a bad spot on B, and after realizing this, he tries to escape. But Munchkin is not letting that happen, picking up a quick 3k to secure the round. But don't think he did this just once, because next round he finds 3 in the exact same spot. C site belongs to Munchkin and solicitors are not welcome. In an unreal display of deja vu, Fnatic have not learned from their mistakes and again walk into Munchkin's site. For the third time in a row, Munchkin grabs a 3-piece denying Fnatic entry. And just when things couldn't get worse, the best Pokemon trainer in the world ends up in a 1v3, smacking Fnatic so hard it looked like a Mewtwo fighting a Caterpie. Plays like this add up and GENG take map 1 13-11. Map 2 opens with Alpha cosplaying an R36M ballistic missile, paying Ash back for that last map. Doesn't stop GENG from taking the pistol though. On the bonus, Karen and Crashies go band for band, but Crashies walks out with new Louis V and a designer GENG jersey. Meanwhile, Munchkin is moving like he Groundhog Day'd this match at least 15 times because he knows exactly what Fnatic is going to do. He even has Boaster claiming he's dying to lag. However, Crashies is Fnatic's life support, putting up a huge 4k to stop the bleeding. But this isn't going to stop Chronicle from going 0-6 and moving like he's got an entire fire ant colony inside of his pants. In the same round, Kayak tries to use his ult to avoid annihilation, but is split seconds off and ends up wasting his ult. Actually unlucky. Kayak is so rattled by this that he forgets to calm that the Omen TP'd Heaven, then he goes for a trigger discipline play, only to get cleared by Ash anyways. Truly not his game. Still, Fnatic take the round off Chronicle coming up clutch, dropping 3, then winning the 1v1. I'm sorry I called you out earlier, Chronicle, you are the GOAT. On round 11, Fnatic set up a trap play, but Crashies accidentally presses spacebar and gives himself away. Alpha tries to salvage with his ult until it's Ajaxed. Devastating stuff. And just in case you missed it, Boaster breaks the deadlock util, which completely shuts down production, leading to an hour-long pause. Regardless, GENG end up 9-3 at the half. Fnatic come out of the break swinging, taking pistol off a clean crossfire, giving them a chance back into this game. On the bye, Texture finds himself in a 1v2, and Kayak asks Texture for a knife fight in chat. Texture agrees, then proceeds to gun him down in the streets. And even though Fnatic win this round, something must be in the water because Fnatic have started running at Texture with their knives out. But listen, if you need someone to clutch up, it's gonna be Texture. He's pulling out clutches like Sideshow pulls out butter. Okay, but surely Fnatic don't throw another 1v3 clutch, right? A tenth of a second away from being the type of necklace goth girls wear. Chokers. Still, Fnatic are stringing together round after round, bringing the scoreline 11-12, one away from overtime, and with them finally able to shut down 1v3s, they push the match into OT. Despite the scoreline being 12-12, Alpha is still sending it like they have rounds to lose, and it's working. Eventually, Fnatic take map 2. Fnatic start map 3 strong, picking up the pistol. The eco comes down to a 1v1 to decide who the better Neon player is, and Fanboy Texture is not letting this opportunity slip. On round 6, it looks like Fnatic are about to go for a 5-man save, before they start throwing themselves into GENG in hopes that GENG will feel bad and throw one back. Next round, Kayak catches Foxy with his util out. It looks like he has every right to get this kill, but he did not know that his rights were revoked, like he tried to bring a water bottle through TSA. The half ends with Texture absolutely styling on Fnatic, looking like he's trying to launch a fashion brand mid-match. Half is 8-4 GENG, with Texture sitting at 16-4. Fnatic win the pistol, but again, we see them fumble the eco, with the little wave from Texture just to flex. In the last round, Fnatic are in a 4v2, but Foxy is a part-time magician, and straight pulls a rabbit out of a hat to send Fnatic to the lower bracket. Coming up next is XLG versus G2. This is the lower bracket, meaning whoever loses is going home from Toronto. XLG opened the match with a tribute to 2022, planting in the old meta spot, and Jog quickly reminds them why we left that timeline behind. On the bonus, Viva lights up the wall behind Jonah P in hopes that the observer camera did not see that. Unfortunately, he was caught in 4K. XLG's nerves look to be on full display as Happyway starts handing out fades in hopes that if this whole Valorant thing doesn't work out, he can pivot to being a barber. But this might be because he's closer to his monitor than anyone on XLG is to breaking the 4-kill barrier. Next round, XLG try a slick mid-play, but once again, they can't land the shots and Jog barely escapes. XLG swap up the post plant, but Jog's game audio is so loud he hears Coconut jump before he even presses spacebar. Bro is speedrunning tinnitus. Still, through the power of the Lorax, Rarga finds a blind kill and finally gets XLG their second round, closing the half out 2-10. The next pistol shows little hope for XLG, with Trent getting absolutely dogged to give them the pistol. But G2 immediately hit them with the signature force, shutting down the momentum like the Bluetooth disconnected right before Gambino came on. Happyway tries to go for a mid-round timing, but the nerds that G2 are, they still have 4 people sitting in spawn 1 minute into the round. Even with Happyway putting on his Foon shoes, G2 close out the first map in a dominant 12-3. Map 2 opens with Valen trying to make new friends by tickling XLG, leading Jog to a stare down with the entire population of China. On round 5, Happyway shows Jog and Trent the back of his hand, giving XLG a foothold in the round. Unfortunately, Viva and Rarga are lining up single file like it's an elementary school field trip. Viva is not happy about this, and in protest, shock darts Rarga straight into the afterlife. Leaf finds himself in a 1v2 and laces up the Air Jordans, putting MIDI on his shirt. But Rarga is done playing and pulls an ace out of his sleeve to give XLG their fourth. The half ends with G2 up 5-7. Next pistol, Jonah picks up a quick 3-piece to give G2 the round. The bonus comes down to a 1v1 and Leaf out-raps Viva so bad I thought he was B-Rabbit from 8 Mile. Next round we see Jog attempt to jump a trip, but that guy has baby legs, cause how is he still triggering this? In the same round, Leaf again showcases his rapping skills, making Viva look like Drake post-Kendrick. On round 17, Viva la Vida, because this man introduces G2 to some cold play. Then we see Jog swap out his mouse for his steering wheel. Like, no bro, this is not Trackmania. Finally, G2 deploy the dirtiest combo, Viper Molly plus Thorns, and with that, XLG are knocked out of the event. Next up is Fnatic versus RRQ. Pistol opens with Xfero suggesting to Kayak that he filed for unemployment after this one. On the bonus, Crashies turns into a dictionary because Xfero reads him harder than a second grader the night before their reading log is due. And Monier's jumping from Molly to Molly like this isn't Valorant, but hopscotch. Next round, Kayak finds himself in the spot and does not disappoint, releasing a flood of dopamine so potent it's got Jemkin T-posing. On round 10, Xfero gives Crashies a slap on the wrist for taking his ult orb. Please, line up the shot. Then we see Kayak get juked so badly that no amount of physical therapy can save those ankles. Still, Fnatic go up 9-3 into the half. On RRQ's eco, Monier tucks into the corner like he's on timeout, but no, he's the one handing out the punishment. This puts Crazy Guy in a 1v2 where he changes his name from Crazy Guy to That Guy. Just the next round, Fnatic pull off a thrifty and Boaster starts grabbing his junk like he's got a little Michael Jackson in him. The lead proves to be too much for RRQ and Fnatic take map 1. Kicking off map 2, Jemkin asks himself, WWED. What would Aegster do? And teleports behind Fnatic to secure the pistol. In the bonus, Cushy's stuck in a 3v4, but he takes Fnatic on the Pineapple Express. And bro, I cannot believe Boaster is pulling out the op again after last match. How are we missing that? Next round, it looks like Alpha found himself a cheeky little spot to get some kills, but no, he still gets cleared. Also, can we talk about Xfero putting his ult on mouse wheel up? That's not a config, that is a cry for help. I haven't mentioned it yet, but Jemkin has absolutely been running Fnatic's pockets this map. Sitting at 16-2 by round 10, he is the definition of locked in. But even he can't escape himself, getting clapped by his own clone like he's one of the Mauler twins from Invincible. RRQ go into the half up 10-2. Chronicle kicks off the second half as the manager of McDonald's, serving up a little 4-piece combo and a large Sprite. But RRQ respond with the "Get down, Mr. President," allowing Crazy Guy to pull off the first 1v5 we've seen all event. And then they do it again, winning rounds with most of Fnatic still alive. Fnatic may not win the map, but at least their KD cards check out. Fnatic are boomed and lose the map 6-12, sending us to a map 3 banger. Map 3 kicks off with the classic EMEA tech pause. Fnatic win the pistol, and on the bonus, it's looking grim for RRQ, until Xfero clocks in, clocking Fnatic in the process. Kayak, personally offended, puts up an entry so good he got into the Salty Spittoon first try. And he's not alone, with Alpha clapping Monier through the wall so loud, I thought he just bought a mattress with Key and Peele. On round 6, RRQ are in a 2v1 that they desperately need, but Chronicle shows them what medical malpractice looks like, ensuring RRQ can't stop the bleeding. Alpha closes out the half with a clean little 4K, and RRQ, with their tournament life on the line, trailed 3-9. Luckily for them, they start the half strong by securing the pistol. And things are starting to go their way because Alpha swears he hits those shots and kindly requests Blizzard to fix their game. However, he instantly redeems himself. As one of only 3 players from Turkey in the event, he starts cooking RRQ like it's a Thanksgiving dinner. He's not done yet though, because he's dominating the entire map. From B main to hitting this absolutely ridiculous shot in heaven, this guy has surely unlocked his Ultra Instinct. And with that, Fnatic close out the series, sending RRQ packing. The next match is GENG versus Wolves. The pistol kicks off with Mr. 4K himself making an appearance. Surely one day we'll see him get 5. GENG take the bonus while Wolves go for an unusual 3-man save. Like they've got a lever and they're waiting for them to reconnect. Karin puts on his best texture impression by dropping 4 to give GENG their 4th. Off the bat, it's looking like GENG are feeling themselves because texture again is dropping another multi-kill. Then we get one of the craziest rounds of the event. It starts with Lysor being put on suicide watch after he gets Omen Diff. Next, Texture whiffs both shorty shots on a 9 HP target. Finally, Foxy grabs the air with his Annihilation, and honestly, why you gave it a good go, but still comes up short. Meanwhile, Juicy's been on the receiving end of so many first bloods, it's got his IGL looking like he just lost his queen 6 moves into the chess match. Even after implementing their patented avoid texture strat, Foxy looks like he handed the controller to his older brother to beat the level for him. On the flip side, Juicy looks like he handed the controller to his younger brother and starts fumbling around with the controls. On round 12, we see Lysor make the same teleport, and this time, he's making sure that no one's behind him. Wolves take the final round of the half, but they're still behind 3-9. Wolves pick up the pistol thanks to Texture stunning his entire team, giving Wolves a much needed way back into this game. On the first buy, BB is not going down without being able to say, I got mine. And bro is not done being a miracle worker, because how is he getting 2 while netted in the corner? He literally cannot move. Wolves start stringing rounds together, with Juicy dropping a 3K to revive his confidence after a rocky first half. And despite being down 3-9 at the half, Wolves pull off one of the best comebacks of the entire event. Map 2 kicks off with GENG taking the pistol, and BB gets caught looking at the radar. GENG also take the bonus with YU jump peeking wider than the gap between Netflix prices and their show quality. By round 8, GENG are in full control, with clean team play and Mob Boss Texture treating Wolves like they owe him protection money. But Wolves start to claw back. BB plays hide and seek with the drone, and Karin is shooting Juicy's after image. Still, Texture is dropping 4s, treating each kill like he's every horseman of the apocalypse, and Isaac is yet to find a damage up. But Spring's not taking that sitting down, absolutely styling on Karin, putting him in the post-game montage. GENG go into the half up 8-4. We resume with YU running it down for the skin and getting punished. Wait, what? You can't keep getting away with this. But GENG quickly clap back, ecoing Wolves to put them on the back foot. BB does not care though, throwing GENG to the Wolves by clutching up a 1v2, sending Texture and Ash straight to the cemetery. Wolves take the lead and intend to use Juicy as bait to get onto A, but they didn't plan on one thing. Bro had a full continental breakfast this morning and looks like Jordan Peele going in on some yogurt. And just like that, Ash is in the clutch on for the ace, but BB is him, and Wolves' run continues, sending GENG to the lower bracket. Our next match is PRX versus Sentinels. The match opens with PRX trading so well that they're going from a paperclip to a house. The bonus comes down to a 1v1 between Bang and Forsaken, but you already know that Jason is James Omen, establishing the Omen differential. Next round, Nere is in a 1v4, and instead of isolating fights, he decides to take all 4 at once. Round 5 is Jing reminiscing on the old TSM days, thinking about his favorite player, Sabrosa. Nere gets caught running Yoshi's Island on his Game Boy and is quickly snapped back to reality. On round 6, Sentinels read PRX perfectly and start a massive firefight, but lose the round by literal milliseconds, with every player in the lobby dead. Sentinels, down 0-6, has Bang Thanos snapping PRX to get them around. But look at this devious combo from PRX. Divide throws the haunt and something follows with the flash, forcing Bang into a staring contest with the sun. And this round somehow gets worse, with Zekken cloning out of heaven, Jing shooting the clone, and then the clone proceeds to full blind both remaining Sentinels players. Bro starting to look less like Jing and more like Domino. Stuck in a 2v4, there's only one player that can save Sentinels. It's Danny Phantom himself. Mr. Bang picks up a 3k to secure the round. Still, Sentinels are sitting at just 2 rounds and desperately need this 2v1. But Batman's looking like the Batman who laughs, because this guy is a monster. And of course, Jing picks up a nice little 3k, sending Kaplan's fist into the desk and PRX 10-2 into the half. PRX start the second half with the classic sum swing to secure the pistol. And with Sentinel savior Bang catching strays like animal control, PRX take map 1 13-3. Sentinels come into their map pick strong, with Zekken hitting the run and gun. His crosshair is nowhere near Jing's head. Sen also pick up the bonus, but that just lets Jing hit Bang with a confuse ray, cause this guy has no idea what state he's in. And Jing's not done. He drops 4 on the entry and has Bang hiding from him like the protagonist of a horror movie who just received a creepy phone call. Sentinels use their ults to pick up round 8 and were blessed with a little bit of Alec molding. Trying to push Alex to a full mental breakdown, Jason teleports on site and gives Zekken his birthday present for churning 14. Now, I've heard reports that Jing is stealing pocket watches because he's taking this timing and running to Mexico with it. And how does he still get one here? Forget I want to be the guy, now I want to be the Jing. The half closes with Sentinels up 7-5. The pistol kicks off with the mid-fight that's got Batman jumping like he's trying to learn to dunk. PRX are on the bonus and you know Zekken is yelling, "Where's my trade?" after breaking Jing's crosshair like this. Still, Narrate salvages the round with a quick 3-piece. Today, my mother asked me if I'd done the dishes and I simply replied Celsius. She started yelling at me, realizing the dishes were in fact not washed. Then we see Bang's picture added to the local obituary, courtesy of Jason Omen himself, a certified Sasantu classic. On round 19, Zekken gets caught by Forsaken and Celsius is too busy putting in his dentures to get the trade. But Celsius isn't done trolling yet, calling Batman to the principal's office just to shake his hand. Coming in the next round, Celsius thinks he's safe in spawn at the start of the round, but he is so unbelievably wrong. The game comes down to the wire with PRX up 12-11 and it comes down to a 2v1 for John Cutie. Forsaken starts spinning like a Beyblade, causing John to miss his one shot to bring Sentinels into overtime. PRX take the series 2-0, sending Sentinels to the lower bracket. The next match is Battle of the Gs, Gen G versus G2. G2 start by securing the pistol, and on the bonus, Jog gets tired of the 9-5 and picks up work as a catcher, catching every piece of utility like he's trying out for the MLB. Pro got 0 to death like he's playing as Steve Main. On the first buy, Karen feels a bit bad and gives Jog a free one as reparations. By round 7, Gen G are in a 4v2 that they desperately need, and they pull it out, but not without Valen going full Romeo, saying, "I'd rather die than live without you." A couple rounds later, Trent jump scares Munchkin so bad that he literally jumps. And then he jumps again during the next fight. Next round, Jog starts treating Karen like the end of a surf map, pulling countless 180s to keep his momentum flowing. And Trent's back on his one trick, looking crisper than an overcooked piece of bacon, sending G2 up 10-2 into the half. On pistol, Karen starts shooting blindly at Jonah and ends up finding Trent despite his crosshair being nowhere near him. That puts Texture in a 1v2, and you already know he does not disappoint. But he's not done cosplaying Curry, because he's still shooting 3s, bringing Gen G to win the bonus round. Next round, G2 pull out a slick play, using Trent's missiles to break Breakable, Fade ults Ash, and then Jog unstealths behind him, becoming Ash's rival Gary. Also, check out Jog's beautiful mousepad real quick. Anyways, G2 start walking up B and Munchkin shuts that down faster than Netflix canceled Inside Job, F in chat. Of course, he's got to throw in a jump to lock it down though. On match point, Karen gets stuck in a 1v2 but can't find it, leading G2 to close out map 1. On map 2, Gen G pick up the pistol and G2 bounce right back with a buy, bringing us to round 4. Where Jonah must have forgot to calm that he's dropping the wall cause Chog gets lawnmowered like he's a zombie on the lawn. Still, Jonah picks up a nice little 3-piece to salvage the round. Next round, Genji get caught snacking on Spam Masubi, but I can't even blame them because that snack is gas. And Jonah looks like he forgot to take his meds because Karen's got him more lost than 6-year-old me in the corn maze. But Leaf has his boys back and drops 3 in return. Next round, Munchkin starts winning more opening duels than Buster Scruggs. And in round 11, Foxy's in a 1v3, but I thought bro was straight out of Pirate Cove, cause that was a good go. Off a 3k from Jonah P, G2 close out the half, 7-5. The pistol has Munchkin turning into Munch Khan, hitting G2 with a fatality. G2 lose their force and Jonah catches Ash so off guard he had to do a double take. Am I seeing that right? By round 18 it's starting to look like G2 are running away with it, but when they start losing rounds to time, you know it's cooked. Jonah even uses his ult here. On the flip side, Genji starts snowballing, with Jog getting timings like he rolled a nat 1. The game's 10-10 and every play matters. Texture's in a 2v1 and just missed closing out the round, but of course, still gets his signature 4k. On round 23, Texture looks like he's got his DPI at 64,000 because this flash turn is so ridiculously fast that he not only gets his, but legs Trent in the process. On match point, Leaf's in a 1v2 and he can't find the fight, bringing us to the map 3 banger I know we all wanted. Valen opens the map, treating a site like a bouncy house. On the eco, Trent picks up 3 and G2 might have the round until Ash puts Trent in a Pokeball. Leaf finds himself in a 1v3 and Munchkin starts swinging like he's a kid at the park. Despite picking up 4, Leaf runs out of time. A couple rounds later, GENG look like they're trolling, running back to B with 20 seconds left, but oh my god, they have Omen ult. They lose the round, but that still went kinda horde. Next round, Leaf starts looking like me in the rank game, cause how do we come up with nothing in this spot here? This is the prime good for 1 spot. Off some solid opening picks, GENG are up 8-4 at the half. GENG start the half with pistol and things are looking grim for G2. This has Valen going for plays like this, only making things worse. But it appears to be a blood sacrifice because G2 are starting to string together rounds. They're playing Ashe so bad he ults an empty site, but it gets even worse because Munchkin is dying mid-ult, like he's expecting a cash app after the game. G2 are feeling themselves and Jog starts going for Grim Walls, catching texture on an off angle so nasty, it's like touching wet food while doing the dishes. GENG's tournament lives come down to a 4v4 retake, and in the end, G2 emerges victorious, sending GENG home. Our next match is Sentinels vs Fnatic. We open with Kayak's hit list, and Zelsis has the #1 spot, and it shows. The bonus comes down to some Cypher on Cypher violence, and Zelsis makes it clear who's looking for a corpse. Next round, the Hunk goes from run and gunning Kayak to baiting Boaster in by using his life. Fnatic call a timeout, and now we got half their team doing the ass pass. On round 6, Zelsis finds the greatest timing known to man, and surely he finds a pick. Right? No, Fnatic just run at B and Chronicle picks up a 4K, making Zelsis look like he's in Narnia. Just next round, Crouchy shows what country his loyalty lies in, introducing Kayak to a quadruple cheeseburger with extra fries. Then, Chronicle pops a Viper ult that's gotta be laced with Scarecrow toxins because Sentinels just full slaved against a guy in a cloud. Zelsis closes out the half with a clean 3-piece, putting Sentinels up 5-7. Boaster opens the pistol by telling Zekin that he is too short to go on Mr. Toad's wild ride. Doesn't matter though, cause Narrate is on land, picking up 3 to give Sentinels the pistol. They grab the bonus too, with Chronicle trying to shoot through Boaster's body like, move! And with Bang posturing like that, yeah, they never stood a chance. Stuck in a 1v1, Fnatic need this round, and Chronicle sticks the defuse with balls so big, John cannot get around them. Next round, Kayak's in the 2v1, sending Bang and Zelsis down the river. Then, somehow Boaster avoids this breach ult. He is the 0.1% of germs that survive Germex. Fnatic start pulling it back, and Alpha hits this insane shot onto Narrate. Then does it again to John Cutie. Bro brought his protractor on stage because that is his angle. At this point, Sentinels need a hero, and Narrate becomes that guy. Stuck in a 1v4 on for the ace, he pulls it out with unbelievable aura. Yeah, stand up, bro. You earned it. With Zekin killing Crashies in classic Zoomer fashion, Sentinels close out the map 13-9. Map 2 starts with Fnatic taking the pistol, and Alpha unscopes at the worst moment, but still gets 1. The criminal activities don't stop though. Crashies is full blind and avoids getting punished with the tactical genius of holding the A key, leaving Bang in a 1v1 where Kayak sends him back to spawn. On round 6, Sentinels open with an aggressive play, ensuring Crashies and Chronicle have to put another quarter in to continue playing. I want to say Sen win the round off this play, but the Alpha Wolf himself has Sen begging for table scraps with a sick 4K and a 2v1 clutch. Also, can we talk about Boaster grabbing his junk? What's going on with that? This is not the first time. Anyways, Sen pull off a thrifty with Zekin shooting the sheriff like he's got 5 stars in GTA. That is my goat. Kayak claps right back though and starts looking like Eggster after hitting the gym. These two teams are putting on a show and Bang responds right back with a 4K that he can call his own. Finally, we slow down with a recall from Zekin trying to confuse Kayak, by going back to the exact same spot? Never forget where you came from. In one of the best halves of the event, Fnatic close it out 8-4. They also win the pistol, and it's got Crashies and Boaster standing up to stretch those hammies. On round 16, Kayak has Zekin's heat signature and still fumbles the kill. Chronicle finds himself in a hot tub with Bang and needs to make sure they're at least 5 feet apart. Later, Sentinels go to split B, and in a stroke of genius, Kayak triggers the Sentinels wall in B main, stopping the play entirely. Bro is thinking in the 12th dimension. With that, Fnatic close out the second map 13-7, blessing us with a map 3. Pistol opens with Alpha and Narrate trading threes like they're playing street ball, but Sentinels come out on top looking like the professor. Next round, it looks like Gecko blinds the entirety of Sentinels, but it's actually John's flash. Had me second guessing myself. Sen win the bonus by exposing Fnatic's B defense harder than Sean Garris speculates about match fixing. And by round 4, Alpha's sitting at 6 kills while the next player on Fnatic has 1. Can bro get some help? The answer is yes. Zelsis starts showing signs of early onset dementia, forgetting about the objective while Fnatic defuse. It's time to put Ankh in the retirement home. Next round, we see an ult that took 5 rounds to build, countered by a $200 piece of utility. The round comes down to a 1v1, and Narrate barely pulls it out, making Austin look like he just saw a car crashes in slow motion. Sorry. On round 8, Narrate channels his inner dream and starts doing some Minecraft parkour to catch Kayak and Boaster with his ult. The game's neck and neck, but Cutie pulls out 3 to give Sentinels the edge. Kayak retaliates, catching John doing the long jump like he's trying to qualify for the Olympics. The half ends with a 3k for Narrate, putting Sen just ahead at 7-5. Fnatic pick up the pistol and the eco, tying the score up, but with the pressure at its highest, Alpha just can't take it anymore and runs knife out into Narrate. Still, Fnatic are stringing together rounds and eventually take the lead. On round 19, Chronicle resurrects Kayak just to lower his KD, looking like my duo out here. Shortly after, Alpha is looking like that guy, cause how is he getting away with this? On match point, Zelsis gets caught looking the wrong way, leading Fnatic to taking the map, remaining EMEA's last hope. All that's left in VCT Toronto is the final, so make sure that you're subscribed so you can see the coverage. Thanks for watching.